Welcome back to 10-Minute Prophecy, where we go through the prophecies of Daniel and Revelation verse by verse in bite-sized chunks. We hope that this journey through Bible prophecy has been enlightening, whether you are new to prophecy or have studied prophecy in the past. As always, if you haven't seen the previous presentations, please watch them as each prophecy builds on each other. The link to our playlist is down in the description below. You will also find the non-denominational biblical prophetic interpretation method that has proven itself over and over again in world events both past, present, and can be relied upon to understand the future. See the link in the description below. Here we begin the fifth trumpet and first woe. Now, with the Western Roman Empire now in ruins, the judgment of God now turns to the Eastern Roman Empire with a power that affects us even today. Let's start this exciting study in Revelation chapter 9. In verse 1 and 2 we find, "And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit." Here we find similar language to the third trumpet, which describes Attila the Hun. But instead of falling upon the waters, it falls onto the earth, and this star is given the key of the bottomless pit. Who is this star with the key that opens up the bottomless pit? We shall find out. After the fall of the Western Roman Empire, the Eastern Roman Empire, also known as the Byzantine Empire, was left. Constantinople faced its first siege by Chosroes, the king of Persia. Here is where the star, Chosroes, fell from heaven to earth and was the key that opened the abyss by his downfall. At this time, the Persian king received a letter from an unknown man in Mecca, urging him to recognize Muhammad as the prophet of God. The Persian king, Chosroes, mocked the unknown prophet from Mecca and dismissed his message. Chosroes rejected it and tore up the letter. Muhammad, in turn, predicted that God would tear apart Chosroes' kingdom just as he had torn the letter. Even if the Roman Empire had fallen, there was little chance for Mohammedanism to spread or for the Saracens, armed with their false religion, to succeed. Chosroes was confident, and despite the Persian victories, Muhammad boldly predicted that the Romans would eventually rise again. At that moment, it seemed like a far-off hope. In fact, Heraclius's early years as emperor suggested the Roman Empire was on the brink of collapse. Chosroes captured much of the Eastern Roman Empire's territory in Asia and Africa, leaving Constantinople as the empire's last major stronghold, along with parts of Greece, Italy, and a few key cities along the coast. Despite Chosroes and the Avars, the successors of Attila, dividing up the remnants of the Roman Empire, neither Persia nor Rome was strong enough to stop the rise of the Saracens. After 6 years of failed attempts to conquer Constantinople, Chosroes gave up on the siege and instead demanded an outrageous tribute, 1,000 talents of gold, silver, silk, horses, and virgins. Heraclius, though cornered, accepted these humiliating terms, but used the time to gather resources and prepare for a bold counterattack. After some years of preparation and planning, Heraclius, the Roman emperor, took on one of the boldest military campaigns since the days of Scipio and Hannibal. He navigated the dangerous waters of the Black Sea, crossed the mountains of Armenia, and marched deep into Persia, forcing the Persian army to return and defend their homeland. In the Battle of Nineveh, which raged from dawn to near dusk, the Romans captured 28 enemy banners, and most of the Persian forces were wiped out. The Romans even spent the night on the battlefield, ignoring their own casualties. For the first time, Roman soldiers entered the cities and palaces of Assyria. Even though Heraclius had led a victorious army, the effort seemed to drain rather than strengthen his forces. Persia and Rome drained each other's strength. Muhammad watched with hidden satisfaction as both empires fought each other to ruin. As you will see in this prophecy, the emperor's military efforts paved the way for the Saracens, coming from Arabia like swarms of locusts to overcome the Eastern Roman Empire. While the emperor celebrated victories in Constantinople and Jerusalem, an obscure town on the edge of Syria was attacked and looted by the Saracens. They even slaughtered a group of soldiers sent to defend it, an event that would have seemed insignificant, except it marked the beginning of a massive revolution. These thieves were followers of Muhammad, and their fanatical courage had emerged from the desert. The Saracens quickly spread the false and deceptive teachings of Muhammad, overrunning both the Persian and Roman empires. In the final years of Heraclius's reign, he lost to the Arabs the very territories he had fought so hard to reclaim from the Persians. Just before the false prophet Muhammad could gain power, those who would have stopped him were already defeated. Thus, Muhammad and his religion gained power and decimated the final parts of the pagan Roman Empire. Now the spirit of fraud and radicalism which had no place in heaven was unleashed on earth. The key to the bottomless pit was now in hand, and it was the fall of Chosroes that opened it. Chosroes was the star, and by his actions he opened the door to the bottomless pit. Chosroes had scorned the letter of an unknown man from Mecca, but when he fell from his blaze of glory into an impenetrable tower of darkness, his name would soon be forgotten, overshadowed by that of Muhammad, just as prophecy had predicted. In 628, Chosroes was murdered after losing his empire, and by 629, Arabia had been conquered, and the first war between the Mohammedans and the Roman Empire had begun. The prophecy was fulfilled. The fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven to earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit. When the strength of Rome had been drained, and the great king of Persia was dead, the pillaging of a small town on the Syrian border was the spark of a revolution. The thieves were the apostles of Muhammad, and their fanaticism had come from the desert. Muhammad, chronologically, historically, and theologically, fulfills this prophecy. Muhammad devastated the then-known world, and that is why the fifth and sixth trumpets in prophecy are no longer just trumpets. They are given an additional name, woes. Just like the harmful and even deadly fumes carried by southwest winds in Arabia, Islam spread rapidly from that region, much like thick smoke rising from a deep pit. It emerged suddenly and expanded quickly, just as smoke billows from a great furnace. This is a fitting symbol for the religion of Muhammad, especially when compared to the pure light of the gospel of Jesus. Unlike the gospel, which is a light from heaven, Islam is portrayed as smoke rising from the abyss. Why is Islam in prophecy portrayed as smoke rising from the abyss? Join us next time as we discuss this important topic. This concludes our time together. Thank you for joining us. We hope you have enjoyed this nugget of prophecy. Join us next time as we continue on the discussion of Islam in prophecy here in Revelation 9. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. We look forward to seeing you again soon.